welcome to the Blue Hour. We want to start, as we always do, with our land and labor acknowledgements. We want to acknowledge that this event is being hosted on the unceded traditional homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Sauk, and Fox, also call this area home. The region has long been a center for Indigenous people to gather, trade, and maintain kinship ties. Today, one of the largest urban American Indian communities in the United States resides right here in Chicago, continuing to contribute to the vitality of this city and to celebrate their heritage, practice traditions, and care for the land and waterways. We invite you to take this moment to honor all who came before us, the Indigenous peoples displaced by colonization, as well as those who built this country through uncompensated and compulsory labor, those enslaved and those oppressed. We honor those who came before and all those who continue to live on this land as we hold this shared space for art and expression. At the Poetry Center, we believe that poetry illuminates our individual and shared humanity, fueling thriving lives and healthy communities. Our mission is to connect people in poetry, equitably engage poets with communities, and foster creative literacy in the city and beyond. We envision and work to create a fair and verdant world rooted in artistic expression, human connection, and boundless imagination. Little preview excitement note, it is our 50th anniversary. Thank you. Not for nothing to make it 50 years as a literary arts organization. And so that's going to launch this summer. We'll talk more about that. But it's very exciting. There'll be a billboard going up that we just worked out the language for. We have a logo. Check out our social medias. I'm going to stop nerding out about our anniversary for a second to let you know that there's lots of information about all of our programs in the back, including a free resource for 2nd to 5th graders, a digital poetry classroom on demand called Queen Z's Poetic Adventures, our residency programs, and our Critical Conversations at Work anti-racism program, all on the back table. Oh, our launch event at the Poetry Foundation is going to be Saturday, July 13th. Okay, so keep an eye on your newsletter from the Poetry Center. If you're not signed up for our mailing list, make sure you do that. We have, after tonight, only one Blue Hour left in this season. Oh, thank you to whoever signed. That was great. But it's an exciting one, and tonight's going to be exciting. So our last one, on May 15th, we have Angelique Zovitz and George Abraham. It's going to be a banger. Come out for it. Okay, those are all my announcements. We are going to have a brief lottery-style open mic. Y'all, this is one packed durian. There are so many you want to read. Oh, it breaks my heart and makes me happy at the same time. Okay, on this little open mic situation, we ask everyone to read one poem for 3 minutes, whichever comes first, right? So, excerpt. If you rewrote the Iliad, just read a little 2.5 minute section of it, okay? That's all anybody needs, 2 minutes of the Iliad, right? God, really nerding on the jokes tonight. Thank you for both of you who laughed at those. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's upside down. Sam Pinkowski. Yeah, perfect. Prepare. So there we go. And I'm just going to ask, so this little setup here in the middle is our live stream. Hello, people at home. Everybody say hello, people at home. Hello, people at home. God, you're so good. So just try not to bump the table. So you can come this way, come around that way. You're doing a great job, Sam. Okay.
Okay, thank you. This is a poem that I wrote about a really special person in my life who I don't talk to anymore. It is a rainy October morning. As I sip my favorite coffee, I think of how I'll tell you I can't see you this week or weekend. Need to hide somewhere far away. Then I remember yesterday, spent among the fall trees. Beautiful death, he called them. Beautiful death. You wanted to use your last 2 pictures of film on me. I still wanted to hide. You laugh. You remember the things that I say. I let myself love you. But just for today.
Poetry causes feelings. Feel free to take a break if you need to. Step out in the hallway, get some water, practice your breathing, whatever it takes to move those feelings through, all right? So self-care, self-care, self-care. Who's next? Up next is Regina Harris Bayaki. Regina Harris Bayaki.
Thank you. Can everyone understand me with my mask on?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, before I read poetry, I want to say that I am the founder of Haiku Festival. This is our 20th anniversary. So this next Saturday, April 27th, at Harold Washington Library, we're having a poetry reading. These are kids between the ages of 8 and 14. And I was going to read some of my poetry. I'll probably just read 1 or 2, but I'd like to read something from our 20th anniversary anthology. 8 to 14-year-olds, just bear that in mind when you're listening to this. And I'll just tell you one of my monocle. The world is divided between those who love cilantro and those incapable of love. Okay, thank you for being nice, because cilantro haters don't like that. I'm going to start with my favorite poems. This anthology represents our 2nd decade. So all the poems that we got from kids all over the world between 2015 and 2024 in this book. This is one of my favorites from Samira Hussein, who lives in Accra in Ghana. The bombed old city. In a creative art class, one child repaints it. And I always read haiku twice for obvious reasons. So, the bombed old city. In a creative art class, one child repaints it. I know I wasn't writing like that as a child. This is from a student at Skinner North Classical School. Bare trees line sidewalks. All the birds have disappeared, except for pigeons. That was Agnes Wade. Bare trees line sidewalks. All the birds have disappeared, except for pigeons. That's such a Chicago poem. And it's amazing, whenever I'm waiting for the bus, how many people are afraid of pigeons. Because I hear people screaming, I'm like, what's going on? It's like, oh, they're pigeons. Oh, okay, whatever. This is one of my favorite poems by a young lady named Nina El-Shamsi. Lonely, moon-drunk thing, trapped in the grasp of the light. Howl your bitter cry. Lonely, moon-drunk thing, trapped in the grasp of light. Howl your bitter cry. And she's an 8th grader from University of Chicago Lab School. This is from a 10-year-old from Avondale, Logandale, Mario Rodriguez. Sparkles in the sea, moon waltzing on cool water, diamond reflections. sparkles on the sea, moon waltzing on cool water, diamond reflections. Do you have time for one more?
Sure.
Okay. This is from Olivia Adams. She's 11 years old, University of Chicago Lab School. When I cry, I'm trapped. My throat eats away my heart. I am burnt inside. When I cry, I'm trapped. My throat eats away my heart. I am burnt inside.
I mean, I was definitely writing that good poems when I I don't know about y'all. No, those didn't rhyme nearly as much as mine did. Goldfish, rhyming goldfish with fish. Very talented. Incredibly nerdy story about me though. My parents did find like a whatever little workbook I had done in second grade, when I was like 7, and I had written this thing that was like, my goldfish is orange and I love him, and then I'd gone back and crossed out orange and wrote golden. Right? I was like, vision! Yes! My goldfish is golden and I love him. So great. Okay, Laura Jane.
Hello. If I look tired, it's because it's 1 a.m. in England. But I can't believe this actually happened. So I won't bore you with how I'm here, and I only have one set of clothes, so I'm wearing the same thing for 3 days on. But I do want to say that the 8th of April was International Romani Day. If anybody knows about that. It's also my birthday. I am half Romani, so I thought I'd do something about that. By the way, this is my lived experience, and I'm talking about, like, I get tourism in the community, and I look a lot different from my cousins, and it's kind of me just talking about how I don't look like my cousins because of assimilation, all of that. This is called assimilate. We don't all live in houses. I mean, they don't all live in houses because I'm not a we anymore, and apart from a broken language and the dark eyes of Star Chart cousins, a legend's likeness living in an aunt or two, I am home. At home in an enforced sanctum we chose without really choosing. And I worry for us, I mean them. On the outskirts, gazes in the forest when I walk by. I wonder if they'll be taken like those before them, or like us, the insidious assimilation of the empirical nation disguised as acclimatization will have them drifting, unmoored, with a breaking language and lighter eyes. Thank you.
We're so accidentally international here. It's so great. It just happens. It just happens. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. I do want to issue an invitation to anyone who would like a special place, a special seat in my heart, by taking one of these seats right up here in the front. I'm always threatening to just take those chairs away, to like put in an extra row and then just take them out. And then people on our team here are like, that's mean. Don't do it. And I say, mean, but effective. And then I don't do it. Tara Humphrey. Yay, I get to read with Joaquín and Scott here. That's awesome. But it's new, Joaquín. Mixtape, side A. 1992 Youth
threw the cassette in my lap through the window of your parents' Honda, flashed a couple tickets for Lollapalooza, and drove. Chicago in the summer is where untethered Midwestern teenage girls flock. The sunroof opened, my crop top exposed the tattoo I'd gotten with a fake ID, and I slipped in the tape of your recorded goodbye, selected for me to remember you. You lit clove cigarettes and I cried while the music strummed air. The Sundays, Fugazi, Bikini Kill, and Public Enemy. I tucked your cassette in the cup of my bra on the plane. A decade before the towers fell and airports were slipped into like album covers. I moved home, back in Texas. My father promised he'd mail the records down, the ones he gave me, but it was my grandmother who paid for the shipping. Hundreds of vinyl packaged in brown boxes. She never liked him, my father. She called him unforgivable. But you said, everyone deserves absolution. Saibi. 2021, you find me. Life hasn't looked so good on you. There's a foreclosed house, a drunken ex, and AA meetings. You are back in Columbus and heard I was in Chicago and wonder if I remember. I dig in the basement and text a picture of your cassette in penciled handwriting, all the notes we passed in class, letters in envelopes, red hearts, 30 years, and I've been cautious of love proclaimed without a song list. Gen X invented the very best expression of love. You ask if I have time to hang, get together, maybe go to a show. You could drive in for Lola, and I say, no, don't have a lot of time. The family, I have kids of my own now. You ask what the kids think about my tattoo, but I had that removed. And you said, yes, just like your father, the past is easily discarded.
Who's going to close out our open mic? Such suspense. Barbara Wallace. I've never done this before.
This is called God is in the Details. But understand that God is small and handles the unruly fire of the world as everything else, not at all. The great whales of the ocean swimming between cities do not see the tiny God asleep on a hinge or woven into your hair, dropped like a cottonwood flake of summer snow. Tiny God sleeps like a drugged feather. What is the big sea for if not praying? Tiny God is there too, eating the contents of flotsam, a seed, a piece of string from a purse, a button that opens the collar of a priest and lets air out of his lung. Specks of secular dust conceal your tiny God so she may travel the world in the pocket of a rabbi. But hungrier each day, she shrinks to infinite density and makes a voracious night.
From the workshop and old faces, new faces, all that. Speaking of old faces, we have two pictures tonight. Not that they have old faces, but they're old faces to me. They're old faces to this old face. Very exciting. We have Scott Woods and Joaquín Zihuatanejo with us here tonight. Applause preliminarily. And we'll be applauding so much more as we hear their poems. Okay. What to say? Oh, what to say. I didn't plan what to say about these 2 humans, but I'm so excited. There are a couple of things that come to mind. And the first is just sort of the long knowing of people. Like, the option to know people and see their work and their lives just grow and progress and change and stay the same, and it's just such an incredible blessing. And that comes to point number 2, which is that's a great blessing in many ways of community. And I wouldn't know these folks if it weren't for community, for the National Poetry Slam community of which we all were a part. Those who were part of it are laughing because it was a fraught and beautiful place and time. But the thing is that I think about, in thinking about these 2 poets in particular, is that I feel like as a kid, and maybe this happened to you all as well, I was sort of, there was this weird notion of like the poet as somebody who goes and, you know, sits in a cabin in the woods, and it's this Emily Dickinson by herself in the attic, which is of course bullshit, and like we all know this, right? That's not even true. Not that there's anything wrong with solitude, introverts unite, but we need that, and we also need other people, and we need community. I'm so happy you're back. We've got people who come back, who've moved back to Chicago, which is also a campaign that I have. See me later. Lots of reasons to move to Chicago or move back to Chicago. But when I think about these 2 quotes, I think of people and artists who have managed to devote so much of their lives to the building of community, to the connecting of other humans, and not lost themselves and their own art and their own poetry at the same time. And that is fucking hard to do. It's really hard. I'm getting a little teary, but it's okay. It'll pass. It's just hard to do, and it's really crucial because the world needs organizers and community builders, and the world also really, really, really needs poets, and really, really needs these poets. Okay, so I'm super psyched for you to hear them tonight. I will stop talking. We're going to start by hearing from Scott Woods. Scott Woods is an Emmy Award-winning writer and event organizer in Columbus, Ohio, and founder of the Streetlight Guild, a performing arts nonprofit. Woods is the author of 3 books and has been featured multiple times in national press, including appearances on National Public Radio. He is the Greater Columbus Arts Council winner of the 2017 Columbus Makes Art Excellence Award for his event series Holler, 31 Days of Columbus Black Art, and a 2018 Columbus Foundation Spirit of Columbus Award recipient. He's the 2022 winner of the Press Club of Cleveland's Award for Best in Ohio Essay Writing. Check out Scott Woods' poetry online and also the essays. What did you say the other day? You're like, I don't write think pieces, I write essays. If they make you think, that's great. I love that. Facebook is good for this stuff. And the 2023 winner, Best in Ohio for the Society of Professional Journalists. He is co-founder of the Writer's Block Poetry Night, and in 2006 became the first poet to ever complete a 24-hour solo poetry reading. A feat he bested 7 more times without repeating a single poem. Do not try this at home, kids. Welcome to the stage, Scott Woods.
So, good evening. I am so excited to be here and honored to have been invited. This place is awesome. And Marty's right, we go way back, and I am so excited. There are so many other people in the room with whom I go way back, but some who I've not seen in years. And some I've only seen online. I'm just very excited to be reading in front of all of you tonight. So let's start off with a poem that will alienate half of you. As was mentioned, I co-founded a poetry night, Writer's Block. We retired that about 1.5 years ago, so we ran it for about 24 years, weekly, right, weekly. And so, and I was the MC, and I'm fairly irreverent in general. And so one night I was on stage, and I'm talking to everyone, and I'm saying, okay, everybody, let's wrap this up so that I may go get some chicken wings. And that was not a shtick. That's like what I did on Wednesday nights, right? One night I said that to the audience, and there was a woman in the crowd, white woman in the crowd, and I said that, and she just started shaking her head. Just was a great something. And so I had to stop the show and unpack that immediately. Like, what's the problem? What's going on? And she proceeded to tell all of us, everyone in the room, at length, about the grand history of stereotypes and black people with chicken, and I was just like, word? So rather than get into a street fight with a white woman, I wrote this poem. It's entitled, "To the White Woman Who Thought My Saying I Wanted Chicken Meant I Wanted Her Opinion." Are you ready? If this is freedom, I don't want it. If I cannot tell you what I am eating without the missionary tract of a more responsible menu that wants to starve me out of my blackness, you can keep your freedom. Shove it deep into your pocket until you tear a hole in it. Good intentions running down your thigh like grease and itis drool. I am having chicken later. That is what is going to happen. It will be tossed in a Texas mesquite dry rub. It will crunch sweet under the teeth and tongue. It is chicken even a white person would eat. It is chicken a white person will cook when I pay for it. That is truth. If you cannot see the me that has been standing here, because chicken is choking smoke and dancing suit. If I should have said pizza, because watching this mouth say chicken hurts, then show me that colored water fountain again. Make me wonder when you serve my food like you used to. You would have me lie about chicken like I do not know it. Its taste, its warmth, its embrace of hot sauce and spices, as if I should not lump you in with white breast and dark lie. And I don't. I leave you to your yoga classes. Your right to review every black appetite as if we've laid them out for you like biology frogs. I should have said I was getting frog legs instead. Tasted that affluenza inoculation, shaped like tender nuggets that smells like that good freedom. Because that's how we know when you're ready for that freedom, whether you can keep chicken to yourself. That secret culinary criminality that makes martyrs in bloody driveways and Harlem ballrooms and hotel balconies, every chalk outline in the hood, easily avoided by just ordering the salmon. You don't know shit about chicken. How it bathes like an oasis in a ghetto desert where you can't find a vegetable for miles. I am having chicken later. That is what is going to happen, you trash ally. And it will be tossed in the freedom and truth of Sunday dinners you are never invited to. Last year, in August, America received, as yet another gift in the long list of black gifts to America, a new holiday, the Montgomery, Alabama boat brawl.
I'm from Montgomery,
So you know.
I know.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike? You live in Chicago now?
I do.
You escaped.
I did. That was my plan.
Good for you.
It took 4 years.
So this piece, I don't know how many of you watched it. I think all of you watched the videos. You just don't want to say you watched the videos. But so when I mentioned that this piece is about that moment in time, written from the perspective of a white folding chair. So y'all did watch it. So this piece is entitled "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot." White folks, I'm gonna let my foot off the gas on the next poem, but we got all these white chairs here. Swing low, sweet chariot. I, too, was just doing my job when Chris stopped sitting on my face, folded me in half, and started swinging. His knees cracking, an unfinished symphony of popcorn in a microwave. Chris's knees become unto like pop-pop, the hot sauce of every cookout flowing in his veins, hands as heavy as a parked pontoon. Every ancestor awakened in his soul and his wrist. Being a white chair, I wondered if my chance to do a right thing and just would ever come. Is this all of that DEI training I've been hearing about? How many times a chair should have been the answer? Lunch counter stools, colored bus seats, a church pew, all brawls waiting to fix history. A brawl extends as far as the dust settles. Ain't no lines in a brawl until the cops come knocking. If you're in the middle of a brawl, you aren't a white woman. You're a brawler. The fact that you can't brawl doesn't mean you don't get hit. It means you should have stayed in your small town boat. The power of Chris compels you. White man in white shirt doing white shit. The power of Chris compels you. Bird-chested white boy looking for trouble. The power of Chris compels you. White woman in red dress on brown trying hard to look surprised. My cousin is an armchair. He gonna tell me, had it been the other way around, nobody would be celebrating. Lazy boy. Right there in the name. And his thinking, that fairy tale just used to be called lynchings. Postcards sent round the countryside to family and friends, not a chair in sight under the noose. Moving furniture is not just reserved for arguments. We are so much more than Saturday night spades table flips. Using me as a revolutionary act of ancestral recall is a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge. If the freedom wind blows Alabama way again, you can serve that with community service. Except Chris already did his community service. Rosa Parks' bus seat is my cousin. One day, we'll both be in the Smithsonian. Legs out, back straight, save for that one dent in my cheek, where fucked around met found out. Had a baby, called it justice. It is a constellation that still has a strand of hair stuck to its North Star. Thank you. I know that was rough. This is a piece dedicated to teachers. Woo! To the high school thug who broke into his English teacher's car? Henry, anybody ever broken, one of the students ever broken into your car?
Back to do it.
Same difference. What you know about Nina Simone could do laps on a pencil tip. So I'm struggling to understand why you would steal that CD. That you skipped the vodka in the glove compartment, but took my reading glasses is equally perplexing. It's not my fault you can't do grammar. It may be my fault it never took. Allow me the honor of tutelage now. Name the verb in the following sentence. Nina Simone sings. Not knowing what kind of grades you get in math, let me point out that you have a 50-50 shot here. What will you make of the woman who sings so sweetly from the bottom of her stories that she becomes beautiful? That you long for her entreating loneliness in the night and wonder why girls today can't do it like that anymore. How will you explain the morning, tripping out of your poster-covered bedroom and into the hallway, making your mama wonder who got into her mama's records? Nina Simone knows who you are and why you took that. Why the record called to you when fear struck your senses. Nina Simone sings, and I know you don't understand yet the ramifications of what you've done. How getting kicked out of your English class doesn't make it okay. I know you couldn't possibly have conceived that there are people in this world who can show you their love in 3 notes. You had no idea that some people need songs like that. Songs that reach through time, pull your heart down like fire alarms, run through the hallways of your soul, banging on the doors, trying to get the demons to walk out civilly in a straight line just outside your mouth, falling into a vodka double shot you can't lift on your own. I want to imagine you just like that, sitting in your bedroom, staring out a window cracked from your previous shenanigans, headphones to your skull, scanning liner notes in my reading glasses. Nina Simone singing long and hard into the night after a moment of trifling anger, to see a beautiful thing and imagine it could save your life sometimes like it does mine. Every time the moon hangs there like it's harvest time, pregnant with mankind's wishes, heavy with the sorrow of thieves. This next one is a shorter poem. It's a bit of a list poem. It's entitled Phylum. Remember that from science class? I don't. A group of poets is a salon. A group of assholes is a pinch. A group of rioters is a looting. A group of football fans is a celebration. A handful of chokeholds is a clutch. A group of terrorists is a cell. A group of suicide bombers is a war. A group of American terrorists is a militia. A group of black people is a gang. A group of black teachers is a gang. A group of black software engineers is a gang. A group of architects is a draft. A group of black architects is a gang. A group of black American suicide bomber terrorists is a fantasy. A group of thugs is a syndicate. A group of black thugs is Sing Sing, is Rikers, is D Block. A group of prisons is an industry. A group of groups is a people. A group of lovers is an orgy. A group of haters is a Monday. A group of gropers is a frat party. A group of assholes is a kegger. A group of keggers is a football riot. A group of black rioters is a riot. A group of riots is a movement. A group of movements is a society. A group of societies is a world. A group of worlds is space. A group of spaces is blackness. I think I have two more, if that's all right.
Sounds good.
Thank you. So, I want to make sure. Let's end light, yes? So, a poem about religion, and then a poem about something else. All right? Did anyone have to go to church camp when they were growing up?
Oh my God.
So my mother, who raised 4 boys all by herself my entire life, used to send 2 of us, me and my younger brother, to church camp every summer, 2 weeks. It was horrible. Did not bring me closer to God. So this poem is about that. It's entitled Stalag 316. For my mom so loved peace and quiet, she gave her woebegone son, that whosoever believeth in keeping him for 2 dusty weeks at church camp should not perish, but have everlasting laughter at his expense. 2 sheet metal warehouse chapels, a wooden barn dormitory, the Hogan's heroes of church camps. The 7 o'clock baptism tub had watermelons in it at 3 o'clock. This was not coincidence. Those slices were the sweetest communion wafer ever. Salvation running down our chins, their holy syrup manifests with each slurp. Today's activity, pray and shut up. Can I call my mom? Sure, a counselor told me, then turned me around to Zanesville's hills. You can yell right on out here, long as you want. It's free. As you can see, I never let go of that horrible caprice. I wanted to kill him, knowing I could be forgiven in a warehouse altar call shortly after. I shouted until the hills shrugged indifferent into darkness, my throat raw with biblical hate and cartoon bile. My best 2-week summer friend, who would die without a church service because he was black and gay, carried me back to the dorm, stuck cartons of warm chocolate milk in the night. Today's activity, choose the ceramic Bible or the ceramic Jesus prayer hands. Don't ponder it too long. We only have silver paint. Given 2 weeks of Galilean levels of destitution, you'll be painting both in arts and craft. End of the week Holy Ghost marathon focus groups, as if we might brainstorm the point of spirit. Campers panting to get saved, reciting hallelujah over and over until the ghost came in sweat and tears and bitten jaws. Speak in tongues, the watermelon's all yours. Hallelujah over and over again until your tongue sounds like you're speaking in feet. Church camp ends like all camps end. Children who learn to love their mothers while they were away, running to the back seat of idling cars, learning that being saved now has all kinds of meaning. Years later, at my last vacation Bible school, we were packed Jonestown style into the church chapel for another mass haunting. I'd been baptized twice by then, and I could not bring myself to lie about ghost busting the Holy Ghost at church camp years before. I needed saved. I needed it right now. But at 12, you do not hunger for vastly different things than when you were 7. I just wanted the chocolate milk. But milk was for closers. Fortunately, I'd survived the camps. I'd gotten all the practice I needed in Zanesville's hills. And my hallelujahs could go on forever. There was a part of me still chanting over and over, waiting for the milk to come. I'm sure I've driven a wedge between us on some level. So I'd like to close out with, this is not an invitation. This is just me telling you what you're missing at the cookout. I know, right? This one's entitled The Cookout. BYOB, bring your own blackness. We already got the ice. Everybody who was worried about being here isn't. And anybody who would complain about the noise already got a plate, so turn it up. This that whole block smell like dinner smoke. This that fish fry where you know the whiting jumped out pond onto plate. This that cherrywood kiss, that pecan soul stain, that mesquite that knows you and your mama's name. This that meat sweat flopping off burnt ends and onto your cooling lips. This that sugar with a little bit of grape Kool-Aid in it for good luck. That dark coal gone white coal, gone bone dust, gone eternal flame flickering in the night. That baptism that dips you holding your nose into a hot sauce religion. That liturgy, the one where you lose your tongue speaking it. The DJ is whoever brought a dope record with him, got next on the turntable. A cousin and his girl argue, but about their love, and accidentally invoke Marvin Gaye. I want you, but do you want me the right way, Clarence? Because I want you, but I want you to want me too. Even the babies tilt their sippy cups for that one. Porch light speckled through willow lips, make them night dappled, their shadows a curtain of dark love. They got blues all over them. The night hit different when you got no shame. No worries, no shuffle, no gun blast game, no transgression, no dishonor, no ma'afa ruin, no depression, no despair, no what you doing. No blame, no triggers, no blues you ain't asked for. No games, no Adidas across that bathroom floor. No no's, no maybes, no showing your teeth, no laughter. No picking, no swinging, no fruit trees, no masters. And who brought that sunset? Who tore up their kitchen for that mix of blood orange and gold? Who brought their gods to the party? We have line danced our way to the distant shore, already made our beds in the upper rooms of this place. The moon is the only one late to the party. The stars, her +1 billion. Jumping into the electric slide like they were there the whole time, like we would cut them out. That's why we made the slide, so we could dance with our parents without anyone telling anyone else anything, but here we are together, my loves. As we slide into the rain we make with our limbs, No one told us we'd have to reclaim our bodies at the door, full on the bounty of food like love and love like real love. We no longer fit ourselves. Spirits, we transcend. We have become so large. We see ourselves before and after, running such beautiful game, every part of us sprouting a life of wings, all seeing, spinning wheel angels of blackness, until the sun says goodnight, because he has to work in the morning. And we wish him fare thee well, because tomorrow, all this joy gonna wear him out all over again.